Hey guys, this is Tanner Invest here, and today might be like the Christmas of owning shares. It might be the birthday, the 4th of July. It's the best day ever. All in one. Today it happened. If you guys are Robinhood shareholders or Sofi shareholders or both, like myself and some other people in the community, today was a magical day. I knew I was excited this whole weekend. I was tweeting or X posting, whatever you call it nowadays, that the Robinhood crypto event was going to be awesome. Obviously, the Robinhood Gold event in March was fantastic. If you're a Gold member, I'm sure that was exciting. But this actually blew that out of the water, in my opinion. This crypto event in France was fantastic. So quickly wanted just to get into that. If anybody didn't watch the live stream, I can recap that. And then I also just want to run through some stocks today that overperformed. The financial sector and me being in fintech certainly outperformed. Just so a couple of you guys are aware of my background, I work in tech sales in the field. So I own a territory of zip codes and I sell to people locally for technology. I'm not going to talk about the company who I work for just for privacy purposes, but it is publicly traded, and I don't really know why I'm saying that. I think my head was I wanted to explain, I guess, a little bit more of my background. Before then, I did actually work for a company that sold financial stock data APIs. So that's why I'm actually into stocks in general, is because I used to sell APIs so that businesses or anybody wanting to create an app could get access to real-time historical equities data, crypto data, Forex, and then we had options data as well. So I think that's what kind of grew my love for stock trading. And today might just have been my favorite day ever in stock trading. Let's get into why here in a second. So I'm starting here on actually let's start on Robinhood Legend. I'm gonna try to use Robinhood Legend as like my background here because I'm trying to get more used to it. It's not my favorite yet. I know they're working on a lot of new features. I feel like for me, it's got like a little bit of like a lagginess to it on my computer. I don't know if that's a me thing or not, but anyway, this is the shares for SoFi today. Let's actually hop over to Hood. They actually look pretty similar. The Hood went up 12.96%, and its market close just happened. So it ended the day here at $93.79 per share, up today from its open at like around $85, which is absolutely insane. So the reason why is because of the crypto event that we can kind of jump into here now. So Vlad, oh shoot, that's loud. Sorry, boys. Vlad pulls up in a sports car, and that was the intro. And then they immediately basically got into the dirty, right? Telling basically what's going on. So I'm going to roll through the Twitter because they've kind of updated it in real time as to what's going on. The main first thing that they announced was perpetual futures for the EU. Perpetual futures are massive in the European Union, so this is actually a huge deal. In America, we obviously don't need to do perpetual futures, but for them, they do. So really great there. They offer, they announced crypto on Legend. I guess it wasn't on there originally. I actually didn't know that, but that's pretty exciting. They announced smart exchange routing, where it just makes faster. It basically routes your trade to where you get the lowest rate within crypto. Because they now acquired Bitstamp, now they have access to basically being able to route your trades in a more effective way to help keep margins in your pocket rather than giving them to Coinbase or Robinhood. They announced tax lots for crypto. They announced Cortex for crypto. So Cortex, if you guys don't know, from the Robinhood Gold event, was basically the personalized AI assistant that will tell you like what's happening to a stock in real time, what's happening, the movement of it, things like that. This is now going to be offered for crypto. So you can see here in the it's showing Ethereum data from this AI assistant. Pretty cool. Now up here, they I was in the shower for a little bit of this, so we'll be launching crypto auto redemptions for your gold credit card. Wait, that's actually sick. Instead of cash back, you can opt your credit card in to get crypto purchases. Okay, I thought I heard that in the shower, but I was a little confused, and now I'm understanding. So now staking as well. That's something I guess everybody kind of expected staking, but they officially announced staking for Ethereum and Solana. And then big thing here. Stock tokens are now available for European investors, which basically means that European investors can now get exposure to US stocks and ETFs through basically a stock token, which is hilarious because Vlad was actually showing how this all works. So I recommend if you want to go check out how it works, he actually has a great drawing on a chalkboard on how that actually works. But pretty straightforward. It's using their own new layer 2 blockchain called Robinhood chain, where they're going to basically be using that chain to do what you would think a chain would need to do, but dumbing it down to where the average person understands what that means. So Robinhood chain, obviously they need that to be able to do things like stock tokens. That's kind of a no-brainer. They announced it after, but it was kind of expected. Fantastic, super exciting. With the stock tokens, they're actually allowing for EU investors. It's not yet available, obviously, in North America due to like regulatory compliances, but OpenAI, SpaceX, they're now going to get access to those stocks. And this is what makes me the most jealous, because right now, if I could take money and put them in SpaceX or OpenAI, I totally would, personally. Now, none of this is financial advice, of course. Do your own due diligence, yada, yada, yada. But furthermore, they announced, I think that was most of it. Okay, I think that was it. I know he tweeted this because he actually, Robinhood does something special that I don't really think many companies ever really do successfully, or do because they don't have the balls to do it. But what Vlad does is when a new product comes out, he will demo a product on his phone in front of the audience. And what's crazy is in this particular presentation, I don't know if you guys caught it, he was on 5G, wasn't even connected to a hotspot, wasn't connected to an internet service provider at all. He was on his phone with 2 bars connection in the middle of France to buy OpenAI stock in front of everybody. Oh, and he attached his wallet. All within this presentation. I think that's insane. That's something no other company does. It's so transparent. It's so bullish. This company does things no other company has done before. They're changing finance. They're changing it right before our eyes. The whole world's going to be different in the next 5-10 years on how we process payments, and it's wild. So I'm super excited, super bullish on Robinhood. Clearly, it's my second largest position, right behind Nvidia, and so I plan to hold for a long time. That being said, it is a very cyclical stock. I do think with crypto, it being so kind of one-to-one parallel with crypto, you will be able to see maybe a crypto winter where it's going to drop. I personally don't see I don't buy into the idea that we're just always going to have these crypto winters moving forward. I think that's a thing of the past. I think with the liquidity, yes, we'll see drops just like you do in stocks in certain times, but I think it's going to follow the M2 money supply like it has been, follow the market in a way, but I don't see us just having a crypto winter where all of a sudden Bitcoin is sitting down, 80% off again, and we can just gobble up the shares for it to then, 10x. No, I don't really buy into that. So I do think Hood, in my opinion, not financial advice, I think it's a pretty safe stock. I was actually listening to a live stream earlier from a different Tanner Manson, one of my favorite YouTubers. But in his live stream, he said, does it not scare you that Hood is at a $90 billion valuation? Or maybe it's 80 billion, sorry. But he said, Charles Schwab is at 160 billion. Oh my gosh, Hood's one half of Charles Schwab. In my mind, it makes me more bullish because Hood deserves to be in the future. And I'm a long-term investor. I don't sit here and trade all day long. In the future, Hood deserves to be a bigger company than Charles Schwab, and I think it will. I think over time it will. So no, I'm actually more bullish now that he made that comment. So a couple other things. SoFi, you might be wondering what the heck's going on with SoFi. To be honest, I'm kind of wondering that too, because I think I know why. I think it's just had a tailwinds. I mean, SoFi was undervalued for a while. It needed to kind of jump back up and catch up to the market, but they just announced that they're bringing back crypto. all the blockchain bullishness that's going on, and Anthony Noto has been very vocal that, you know, SoFi is going to be a big player in that space, and they're going to be very hungry to innovate. You know, I think Noto's tweet the other day when he was talking about the big beautiful, or sorry, not the big beautiful bill, but when he was talking about the blockchain bill that happened, forgetting that I'm spacing on the name of that, but he wasn't the Genius Act. Sorry, he wishes that it was more lopsided in favor of companies that were willing to push the boundaries and innovate. He thinks it's a little bit not good enough for those willing to make innovations, and it's better for the big players who are just going to piggyback off of those that are actually putting the work in making the innovations. I mean, that's basically what I got out of his huge long X post, which was like massive. I think his biggest post of all time. A couple other things. Nubank. You know, by the way, SoFi today actually came back. It actually had a peak. It was up like 10%, and then it dropped back down to 6.5%. Which, hey, we can't complain about a 6% move in a day. Nubank also had a similar story today where it was up a little bit further, but it went up 3.7%. You know, Shark Ninja, I just did a video on yesterday, did 2.5%. I mean, the whole market was kind of up, but I'm super pumped. You know, a couple other things on why I'm super bullish, you know, Hood and SoFi is InvestAmerica. You know, Robinhood obviously is involved. We have Anthony Noto, who's on the council. He's on the CEO council of InvestAmerica, which, for those that don't know, basically there's a council that's being created to try and get $1,000 to every single American-born child to increase their financial literacy. And accelerate their savings like throughout their life, so that, you know, having an investment of $1,000 when you're born, you know, what could that money turn into when you're older? It may allow you to understand stocks better. It may be able to get you into the market to start investing, and then it will help out people who aren't interested in investing because they're going to have money that they didn't have before. But also, it's going to help people learn the markets, which ultimately will add liquidity to the markets in the future because people are in them, they understand them better, etc. Don't need to go down too much of a rabbit hole. There's some great CEOs on this list. You know, Mark Benioff, Salesforce, Lisa Su, obviously massive. The CEO of Uber, who Trump couldn't pronounce his last name, and I'm not even going to try to butcher that real quick, but he's on that list too. So super exciting. The other thing, you know, why I mentioned Robinhood, you know, Robinhood created an app to show the administration what InvestAmerica could look like, where they did a full demo. This is what I'm talking about, is that Robinhood has the balls to prove that their technology, I mean, they have the best technology in the world. These guys, for what they're doing, how fast they're shipping, like, they can create this, go to the White House and show Trump and have the balls that it's going to work. That's fantastic. So anyway, this video went a little bit longer, I think, than I expected, but I'd love for you guys to like share some comments, maybe follow me on X, let me know like what, you know, content y'all are looking for. I do plan on keeping these videos up. I think some people gave me some really great feedback that like kind of boosted my confidence and talking in front of a camera for the first time, but I'd love to be able to, you know, keep this going. So any engagement would be super helpful. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate y'all.